At the start of the story, a deadly asteroid is shown racing toward Earth. In an attempt to stop it, humans launch multiple nuclear missiles at the asteroid. The missiles shatter it, but the radioactive fragments begin raining down on the planet. Because of this radiation, cold-blooded creatures like ants, spiders, snakes, and lizards start mutating. Their DNA changes rapidly, and their size grows to monstrous levels. A brutal war between humans and these giant creatures continues for an entire year. Most of the mutated beasts are eventually destroyed, but humanity pays a massive price. Weapons, ammunition, and even military forces are almost completely wiped out. About 95% of the human population is erased in this battle. The few who survive are forced to hide in underground bunkers to stay alive. Among these survivors is a young man named Joel. His story begins on the day he is sitting in a car, sharing a quiet moment with his girlfriend Amy. Suddenly, radioactive fragments from the asteroid begin falling across their city. Moments later, a huge mutated insect attacks, throwing everything into chaos. Frightened, Joel and Amy run toward their homes. When they arrive, they see that everyone is hurriedly trying to evacuate the city. In the rush, Joel and Amy are forced to separate from each other. Before parting, Joel promises Amy that he will find her again. As Joel's family tries to escape by car, their vehicle becomes surrounded by the creatures. Joel manages to get out, but his parents remain trapped inside. In her final moments, Joel's mother pleads with him to run and save himself. He takes a few steps forward and helplessly watches his parents die before his eyes. Before he can process the tragedy, people pull him into another vehicle and drive him away. This traumatic moment leaves a deep scar on Joel's heart. 7 years pass after that nightmare. Joel now lives with the same group that rescued him. Inside the bunker, everyone has a partner, everyone except Joel. His trauma and constant nervousness prevent him from being sent outside for missions. Anytime he sees these mutated creatures, he freezes in fear. Because of this, he has never chosen to go out. Joel spends his days cooking meals and cleaning the bunker. For 7 long years, this has been his only routine. One day, a massive ant manages to break into their bunker. All the fighters in the group prepare to face it, inviting anyone willing to join the battle, but they refuse to let Joel participate. A team of 4 goes ahead to confront the creature, while the others watch through a thermal camera. During the fight, the giant ant grabs one of the men. Joel cannot stand watching his friend suffer, and rushes out to help. As he runs, he sees the enormous shadow of the ant looming ahead. One of his companions is already trapped inside the creature's jaws. Joel's fear gripped him tightly, and he froze in place. The giant ant moved closer, and Joel shut his eyes in terror. When he opened them again, the ant's head lay at his feet. 2 members of the group had chopped it off. To calm himself and shift his focus, Joel picked up the radio and started talking. It was Amy on the other end. Amy had survived the catastrophe 7 years ago, just like him. However, her colony was far away, and they had not seen each other since the disaster. Joel spoke to multiple stations before finally locating her. Their conversation was filled with joy and relief, but suddenly the radio went silent. After narrowly escaping death that day, Joel felt restless. He no longer wanted to spend his life confined in a bunker, waiting for the next threat. He turned to his companions and asked, "How far is Amy's colony from here?" They told him it was 140 kilometers to the west, located on a beach. Joel declared, "I want to go there." His friends warned him that the journey would take at least 7 days. Even the most experienced survivor could last only 3 or 4 days in that terrain. "You would die in 1 hour, son," they said. But Joel had made up his mind. He would either reach Amy or give his life trying. He felt out of place in the bunker, as if he were a burden to everyone. In truth, his friends cared deeply for him. They even drew a map to help guide him to Amy. After so many years, Joel finally stepped out of the bunker. Amy's colony lay 140 kilometers west, but Joel did not know the direction of west. Without pausing to orient himself, he began walking forward. After some distance, he heard the growl of a massive creature. He ran to hide in a nearby house, only to find a giant frog in the pond outside. Seeing the creature, Joel froze again. The frog lunged at him, striking with its long tongue. Suddenly, someone pushed Joel out of the way. It was a dog. The frog attacked again, snatching Joel's leg with its tongue. The dog leapt and bit the frog's tongue, breaking its grip. Joel and the dog ran away as fast as they could. Soon, they reached a stationary bus, which the dog entered. Joel realized it was the dog's home, though its mistress was likely gone. On the wall, he saw the word "boy" written. When Joel said the word aloud, the dog perked up. Joel understood then that the dog's name was Boy. Joel picked up a red dress lying in the bus, but Boy immediately snatched it. It was his last memento of his mistress. Joel spent the night inside the bus and left the next morning. As he began walking, Boy followed him, carrying the red dress as if choosing to accompany him. Joel carefully placed the red dress into his bag and began walking with Boy. They moved slowly through the ruins of the destroyed city, making their way toward Joel's destination. Along the way, Joel spotted some fruits growing on a plant. He was very hungry and reached out to eat them. Suddenly, Boy tugged at his leg as if warning him not to touch the fruit. Joel realized the fruits might be poisonous and decided not to eat them. As they continued, Joel recorded his journey in a small book, noting every detail. Suddenly, while walking, he fell into a deep pit. When he tried to climb out, he noticed he was not alone. Scattered around him were large bones, showing he was not the first to fall victim here. Before he could react, swift blood-sucking insects attacked him. At the last moment, a man appeared and pulled Joel up using a rope. This man was Clyde, and a little girl named Mino was with him. Both were skilled and dangerous, capable of handling threats. Clyde threw a grenade, destroying all the attacking insects. Clyde warned Joel that he should not travel alone in this area. Joel replied that he was not alone. He had Boy with him. He also explained that he was on his way to find his girlfriend, Amy, in her colony. Clyde explained that he and Mino were heading north toward the mountains and snow. There was a special colony there where the cold kept dangerous creatures away. He offered Joel to travel with them for a portion of the journey. After some time, they stopped on a mountain. Mino began teaching Joel how to shoot arrows. Joel's aim was poor, struggling to hit the target. Mino explained that his father had been the best archer in their colony, but when a group of deadly creatures attacked, Clyde's son and Mino's father were killed. Since then, Clyde and Mino had been searching for a safe place to live peacefully. Suddenly, Clyde noticed a creature emerging from the forest. He warned Joel that the creature had caught his scent and would follow him for a long distance. They quickly moved to avoid being tracked. Clyde and Mino had survived on Earth for a long time, giving them extensive knowledge of these creatures. Later, they encountered a giant snail. Clyde told Joel to stay perfectly still, but Joel remained frozen in fear. Clyde calmly instructed Joel to remove his t-shirt and placed it over the snail. The snail wandered off without harming them. Clyde explained that the snail would spread Joel's scent, confusing the creature pursuing them. Joel asked why the snail had not attacked them. Clyde replied that some creatures could also be harmless. Mino added that if Joel ever felt confused, he should look into a creature's eyes because eyes never lie. At night, they stopped to rest and eat their food. As soon as they began to rest, Clyde woke them up. He warned that other creatures would be drawn to the smell of their food. Staying here now would be too dangerous. The next day, Mino resumed crossbow training with Joel. She instructed him to shoot each arrow with a calm and focused mind. Whenever Joel followed her advice, every arrow hit the target perfectly. Mino was overjoyed and hugged Joel tightly. Having been separated from her family at a young age, she now saw Joel as an elder brother. A few more days passed like this. Clyde and Mino taught Joel survival skills to avoid creatures. They showed him which plants and trees could neutralize the poison of dangerous animals. After covering all of this, they finally warned him about the most deadly creature on Earth, the sand gobbler. Sand gobblers move underground and track any sound with deadly precision. The most dangerous among them is the queen, many times larger than the others. One of her wings often rises above the ground. If the queen hears even the slightest noise from you, survival is impossible. No sand gobbler has ever survived an encounter with the queen. Mino made Joel practice with the crossbow every day. Gradually, he improved and became more confident. After 5 days, they reached the point where their paths would separate. Clyde urged Joel to stay with them. He explained that survival alone would be extremely difficult. Staying together would greatly increase his chances of staying alive. But Joel was determined to find Amy. Mino felt deep sadness at his decision. Joel explained to her that Amy meant everything to him. Mino hugged Joel for the last time, silently wishing him luck. Before parting, Clyde handed Joel a grenade. He instructed him to use it only in dire situations. Pull the pin, count to 5, then throw it. Remember, count to 5, Clyde emphasized. Now the two groups went their separate ways. Joel and Boy were left to cover 50 kilometers alone. The journey ahead was going to be extremely difficult. After walking for a long distance, they reached a place where Boy suddenly acted strangely. He refused to move further and hid under a pedal boat out of fear. Joel tried to coax him out when suddenly many legs emerged from beneath his feet. It was a massive centipede. Joel quickly raised his crossbow, but the creature advanced rapidly. It lashed out with its tail, aiming to catch him. Boy barked fiercely, startling the centipede. The creature attacked Boy with its tail, tossing him aside. The centipede then circled the boat, attempting to kill Boy. At that moment, Joel's memories of losing his parents flashed before his eyes. This time, however, he refused to give in. Overcoming his fear, Joel stood up and fired an arrow from his crossbow. The arrow struck the centipede in the neck, enraging it. Ignoring Boy, the centipede charged straight at Joel. At the perfect moment, Joel fired another arrow. It hit the creature directly on the head. Joel's arrow struck the centipede, killing it instantly. He was trembling with fear and disbelief. He could not believe that he had actually defeated such a massive creature. Then Joel saw Boy running toward him. Joel may not have been able to save his parents, but today he had saved Boy's life. Overcoming his fear had made this possible. The next morning, they reached the edge of a large pit. Boy suddenly began acting strangely and started running ahead. Joel realized that danger was near. From the ground, a creature emerged, one wing protruding above the surface. Joel knew immediately. This was the queen, the sand gobbler queen. Joel quickly threw a small toy away to distract her. The queen lunged in the direction of the sound, tearing the ground as she moved. Joel ran as fast as he could, with the queen chasing him. While fleeing, he tripped and his bag fell to the ground. Joel followed Boy and hid inside the hollow of a tree. He covered Boy's mouth to keep them silent. silent. When no sound came from Boy, the queen started leaving the area. Suddenly, Boy's mistress's red dress fell into the river from Joel's bag. Without hesitation, Boy leapt toward the river to save it. Joel tried to stop him, but Boy would not listen. The queen immediately turned back toward them. To protect Boy, Joel ran to retrieve his grenade. He pulled the pin and began counting to 5, but the grenade slipped from his hands. As Joel bent down to pick it up, the queen attacked him. Thinking fast, he shoved the grenade into the queen's mouth and jumped into the river. The explosion tore the queen apart. Joel felt overwhelming joy but was furious at Boy. As he climbed out of the water, he saw leech-like creatures clinging to his body. Panicking, he removed them one by one. He scolded Boy, blaming him for the dangerous incident caused by the red dress. Boy, angry, walked away, leaving Joel alone. Soon Joel began staggering from the leech's poison. He started seeing hallucinations and became disoriented. In this state, he stumbled a short distance and collapsed. Luckily, he spotted a plant that could cure the poison. He quickly ate it and, still dazed, continued moving forward. Exhausted, he finally sat down to rest. Suddenly, he saw Amy. After 7 long years, he ran to her, kissed her, and then fainted again. When he regained consciousness, he realized he was inside Amy's colony. Seeing her alive filled him with happiness and amazement. Amy told him to rest. Joel replied, "It feels so good to kiss you again after all this time." Amy smiled and said, "You just kissed this old man, not me." After that, Amy told Joel that some visitors had arrived at their colony. One of them was the captain of a ship, and he wanted to take all the people to a safe place. Joel found this a bit unusual but remained quiet. Soon Amy left for some work. When Joel stepped out of his room, he was stunned by the beauty of the colony. As he walked further, he saw the beach behind the colony. Although Amy's colony was underground, the sea provided protection because the creatures could not cross water. Seeing Joel outside, Amy came to talk to him. Moments later, the captain and some of his companions arrived. Amy introduced Joel to the captain and explained that he had reached the colony after a 7-day journey. The captain was very impressed and shared that he had previously served in the army. He now helped survivors reach a safe base on his ship where they could live comfortably away from the dangerous creatures. When Joel and Amy had a moment alone, Joel asked, "I came all this way to see you, but why don't you look happy to see me?" Amy replied that much had changed over the years. She had lost her parents, and last year, the person she had loved deeply. Hearing this, Joel's world shook. He realized that before coming here, he should have asked if Amy truly wanted to meet him. Amy admitted that it was her mistake. She should have told Joel everything over the radio, but she did not. Still, she said she was happy that he had come. Amy explained that now they could go with the captain, escape the creatures, and remain friends. Joel's mind struggled to process this. He had risked his life traveling 140 kilometers, fighting giant insects only to be friend-zoned. He tried not to think too much, overwhelmed by everything that had happened. After some time, Joel attempted to contact his colony on the radio, but could not get through. Then an elderly man approached him and handed him fruits and beer. It was a gift from the captain for the entire colony to celebrate the start of a new life. Joel then looked at the map his friends had given him. On the back of the map, they had written heartfelt messages. Reading them, Joel became emotional and realized how much the people of his colony loved him. He had left them all behind to meet a girl he had not seen in 7 years. Just then, a message from his colony came through the radio. Everyone was thrilled to hear Joel's voice and that he had reached safely. Joel recounted all the events of his journey, leaving everyone in shock. How did Joel manage all this alone, they wondered. Joel asked about everyone's well-being. They explained that after he left, the colony had suffered many attacks and was no longer safe. Suddenly, the connection was lost. Joel made a firm decision. He would not go ahead with the captain without rescuing his friends. His eyes then fell on the fruits the captain had given him. After that, seeing the fruits, Joel suddenly remembered something. He opened his book and realized that this was the same fruit the boy had warned him not to eat. Alarmed, Joel ran toward Amy. Outside, everyone was staggering and dancing under the influence of the fruit. Joel tried to warn Amy, but one by one, the colony members began to faint. Suddenly, Diana attacked Joel from behind. When he regained consciousness, he saw that all the people in the colony were tied up. Joel realized the truth. This was the captain's plan. He went from colony to colony, stealing food and exploiting the people. The captain explained that they had captured a massive crab to pull their ship. In return, they forced the colony members to serve as food for the crab. He pressed a button on his remote and a dark shadow emerged from the sea. Everyone panicked and tried to escape. Amy struggled with all her strength and managed to free herself. She also untied Joel. She told him, "I'll handle these 3, you deal with the crab." Amy grabbed a piece of the gate and charged at one of the men. She dodged bullets and struck him down, and both fell unconscious. Meanwhile, the enormous crab advanced toward Joel. Joel grabbed a nearby rod and ran at the creature. As the crab leapt onto him, he struck it hard, flipping it upside down. The crab could not recover from the fall. As Joel prepared to finish it off, the captain sent a powerful electric shock through the remote. The crab jerked upright and charged at Joel with renewed fury. Meanwhile, Amy regained consciousness and faced Diana. A fierce battle broke out between them. Diana overpowered Amy easily. The crab moved toward Joel, but Boy bravely stood between them. Seeing Boy, the crab paused, slightly calmed. The captain ordered Diana to kill the dog. Diana aimed her rocket launcher at Boy, but Amy struck her hand. The rocket missed Boy and instead hit the crab, causing massive damage. The captain then personally attacked Amy, hitting her unconscious. The crab, enraged by the grenade, charged at the captain. He shocked it with the remote, redirecting it toward Joel once again. Joel ordered Boy to go to Amy to keep her safe. Boy tried desperately to wake her up. The three thieves took this opportunity to escape, leaving Joel to face the attacking creature alone. Then, Amy regained consciousness. She grabbed a grenade gun lying in front of her, ready to fight. The creature grabbed Joel by the leg. Joel shouted to Amy for the gun. Quickly, Amy handed it to him, and Joel was about to pull the trigger. But then he paused and looked into the eyes of the crab. Suddenly, he remembered what Mino had said. By looking into the eyes of a creature, one can see whether it is truly bad. Joel saw only pain in the crab's eyes, pain caused by the chains and electric shocks that had tortured it repeatedly. He aimed carefully at the chain and fired, breaking it. The crab, freed from its restraints, did not attack Joel at all. Joel fell back, exhausted, as Amy rushed to his side. The crab approached Joel but stopped close to him, almost as if to thank him for its freedom. Then it turned and moved toward the captain's ship. By now, the captain had reached the ship. He tried to shock the crab with his remote, but nothing worked. He realized his control over the creature was gone. The crab swallowed all three of them alive, one by one, and destroyed their ship completely. After all this, Joel prepared to return to his own ship. He was ready to go back to the colony. Seeing Joel's bravery in saving Amy and protecting the colony, Amy's feelings for him grew again. She asked him to stay with her. Joel gently replied that his friends needed him, and he could not stay. Before leaving, he gave Amy the book he had written about how to fight these creatures. It contained all their weaknesses and strategies for survival. Joel thanked Amy, saying that it was because of her that he came on this journey, which had changed his life forever. As he departed, Joel mustered courage and kissed Amy. She smiled and said, "You traveled 140 kilometers for me. This time, I will come looking for you." So what do you think? Does Amy get a second chance or not? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.